So, welcome to the Payback Team Training Call. We got a special guest on this time. His name is Josh Holmes. He is the master of Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads. So, I wanted to just kind of start off and ask Josh, if you wouldn't mind, just kind of introduce yourself and tell us where you came from, where you live, what you're doing, how long you've been in the industry. I know that's kind of a lot to just kind of attack right away, but do the best you can.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, my name's Joshua Holm. I live here in Corvallis, Oregon. I've lived in Oregon for about eight, now about 9 years. And I started in the insurance industry about 8 years ago, selling mortgage protection for another company. It was a practice company that didn't offer a lot of training. Everything was face to face. Everything was paper applications back then. And, I was trying to do that part time while I was working in the construction industry. In that construction industry, working overtime, I was only able to do insurance at on the weekends. And so trying to set all my appointments for the weekends, run those appointments, driving to all these small towns far away, getting no-showed, and trying to pack all the ups and downs of the business, the face-to-face business, just over the weekend. And without the proper mentorship, the proper training, I eventually thought, this isn't working for me, unfortunately. As a couple years went by, and I watched from the sidelines of all the people that stayed in the insurance industry and changed their lives, I always felt that haunting me. But then COVID happened, and a couple amazing things happened in COVID. There were some upsides. For instance, I and a lot of people were laid off, and so now I have the opportunity to gain like an unemployment check, but also to be looking at other opportunities. At the same time, the insurance industry went virtual. And that's when I thought, oh my gosh, like that's something I can get behind, because you've got electronic applications. You could talk to people over phone or Zoom. And so that's when I got back into that practice company. And still, after a couple of years, there still wasn't a lot of training. So what I did what anybody should do if they have the will and drive and don't have the mentorship. Go on YouTube and start looking at how to sell virtually, and everything that you need to know is right there. But you're going to find pretty quickly that most of the training on insurance sales actually comes from Family First Life. And that's when I realized I'm in the wrong company. And so when I talked to Jamie Churio, he offered me a 40% raise from what I was getting with the practice company. I didn't even know that existed. But that's Family First Life for you. And yeah, so I've been doing that, and I've been doing a little bit later. I had a foray into the health insurance world, and now I'm back because life insurance is a beautiful thing to sell. It's way less complicated to sell, and there's a lot of gratification. It's an emotional, almost a religious product to sell. So.
What do you mean by religious?
Well, I feel like there's something to be said for the person who leaves something behind even though they are gone. And I don't think that that comes from a nihilistic or atheistic perspective. There's a narrative behind that. That's somebody who lives their life by narrative and by virtue. And there's something also to be said about when you die and you go into the grave, something comes out of the grave
Mm-hmm.
that's almost metaphoric of like a resurrection. And the sting of death is lessened because of something you left behind. And so life is all about leaving something behind. That's all you see in nature is trees growing up just to drop their apples and their seeds and their acorns. Everything in nature is leaving something behind, for the propagation and the proliferation of life. And that's something that you're doing with life insurance. It is you're leaving something that's going to fertilize the finances of your family. And so that's why I think that's what I've developed as far as thinking religiously about life insurance.
I agree 100% with you. In fact, that's why I came up with the name Payback, right? Because if you look at the logo, it has the tree of life with the roots, right? So essentially, life insurance is paying back those people from uh, from a financial perspective that has helped you throughout your life and supported you, right? So you mentioned that you came from the health insurance industry as well. So you were let me get this right. Tell me if I'm wrong. You went from life to health and then back to life. Is that correct, Josh?
Yeah. Hmm.
Can you kind of expand on that and kind of explain a little bit why that journey was the way it was? Why you
Well,
left and then came back?
yeah. Well, I was having a hard time in the final expense world, and when I started to hire a handful of people, including my older brother, who's a numbers guy. He's a lot more type A version of myself. He wanted to explore certain things that were popping up as an opportunity in health insurance, and he was looking at the numbers, and he's like, yeah, he's showing how it made sense. And then everybody I was kind of bringing in was like, yeah, let's try that. So as I tried it, it was good. And now there's multiple different avenues of health insurance. There's Medicare supplement, which I never did. There's ACA, um, and there's the private health insurance products. Most of the what you find after 2 years of selling all of the ACA and all of the private sector plans is that health insurance is a very broken world. And the only people who really get stellar health insurance are rich people that don't need it, and the indigent, people with very, very low incomes, they get immaculate health insurance. And so everybody else that's sort of middle to upper class, that don't get the subsidies from the ACA, their cost for insurance is way outpaced the normal inflation, of living. So what is called the Affordable Care Act is actually very unaffordable for a lot of people. So you're paying a high premium with a high deductible, end up paying what, let's say 30,000 a year just in case you have a $10,000 bill, in a bad circumstance. And you're doing that year after year, 10 years, that's 300,000 just in case you get $100,000 bill. That's just in premiums and deductible. So
Wow.
those kinds of things they make it really hard to really serve everybody. You're sort of constantly compromising. And then you've got people who are filing claims, unlike with life insurance, where the person files a claim maybe one day. I mean, they will, but it's not going necessarily going to be anytime soon. With health insurance, they're filing claims all the time. And every single time somebody files a claim, and it doesn't go well, they usually don't call the insurance company, they call the agent, which is weird to me. It's like, I'm not, every time my car has a problem, I don't call the agent who sold it to me, but that's how they think about it. Um, so that's when I got kind of burned out. I had enough clients who had issues and were unhappy, and I felt like no matter what I'm doing, I'm sort of it's an impure sale. It makes me feel like I'm scamming people when I know I'm not. I'm trying to do the best that I can, but these products are just not. A lot of them aren't good for people. So that's when I stopped selling for, I don't know, let's say a few weeks or something. I just was beating my head against the wall, staring at my screen, and I thought life insurance wasn't like this. It's just it's you end up talking to people. The numbers and figures are so easy. It's like $100 is going to get you $600,000 of life insurance with living benefits, um, and then it's a quick application, a little bit of follow-up, and that's just the name of the game. So I came back with life insurance, and I watched some videos, Andrew Taylor, Grady, and I saw what people were saying about the Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads. And man, I forget who that Easton Patton. Yeah, he has a really good video on the abandoned cart leads. And that's when I thought I'm gonna try those. So I bought a handful of them and sold a handful of them and was like, that's not hard. That's a very profitable lead. Those numbers are totally verified. Most of the people, when you call them, it's their number, you know. So,
Hmm.
but there's certain ways that you need to, there's certain key points to unlocking the conversation with Ethos leads.
So, just to kind of give some context here for new agents or agents that are possibly wanting to come aboard, in the ILC, we have a plethora of leads, right? We have final expense leads, we have mortgage leads, we have IUL leads. In those categories, we also have internet leads, we have uh, social media leads, we have mailer leads, we have all types of leads. There's probably 25,000 to 50,000 dropped in there per day, right? We have cheap leads that are aged. We have exclusive leads. You can set up a marketing campaign if you want to, so you can get exclusive leads as they come in. But out of all of those leads, Josh, you chose the Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads. What did you like about those leads better than the other leads that are available?
You know, I've worked some like mortgage leads, some IUL leads. I mean, I started with FFL running all of the instant internet leads, the 3 months and the 1 months and a few instants, and I actually really enjoyed the older ones. And so you kind of get a sense of how many leads that you need in order to, you know, set appointments and have your pitches booked. And I was just fascinated by the fact that I bought a small handful of Ethos leads, actually set some appointments, and they were really easy to talk to. When you're dealing with leads, you start to, let's say you've dealt with a few hundred of a certain lead type, you get a sense for the person that is attracted to whatever that lead magnet was, right? So, the instant internet leads for some reason were just like really good at attracting low income people that live in trailer parks. I mean, like that's what I got a sense of, because those are the people that typically answer the phone and told me, yelled at me. Not to say that you didn't get, I was profitable with them, because you get little ladies named Susan and Karen that love you and, really need your help. And, you get people like that, and that's really good. But what I found with the Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads is it's actually a higher quality person. You get a little bit higher, like, you're solid, intelligent people. And that's not surprising, because the Ethos marketing, their website, their curb appeal is very beautiful. It's very, it's very clean. It's very crisp. They've got good ads. They've got just a nice working website, and it appeals to the person who wants to cut through the BS and apply for life insurance online. But what I tell every one of them when they end up being in an abandoned cart lead is I tell them that websites are great, but their underwriting is trigger sensitive extremely, because they don't have the infrastructure to not be able to look at somebody, talk to somebody, and to do thorough underwriting. And so they have to only have a few different products, and they have to be very sensitive with the underwriting. Even I wasn't approved at the high rating table on Ethos, and I have an immaculate health record. So that's why they put you in touch with me. It's because I have a more expanded portfolio, and I can do a little bit deeper underwriting.
So
get
just
you
to be
approved. Yeah.
okay, so just to provide a little bit more context, an ethos, can you describe what an ethos abandoned cart lead is?
Yeah. So it if you play around on your Ethos platform, you will you'll see that you can run quick quotes. But for the customer, what they do is they give them a, a kind of a snapshot quote. It depends if I'm not sure how the website does it now, but I know that they did it like this. You could either look at quotes, or you could actually, I'm sorry, I need to brush up on this, but it's actually my understanding that if they are looking for a quote, they basically are filling out an application. And then after they've answered their medical questions, given their last four of their social, they land on a quoting page that has a little slide bar where they can change their face amount, and it shows them their premium. And that shows them what they're actually approved for. And so at that point, they either get sticker shock or they run into technical issues, which happens a lot. Um, and so, or they say, "Oh, that's a great quote, but I'm going to talk to my son really quick," or whatever, and then they can't get back to that quote later on. There's some kind of issue. So then, after some time, and they don't complete their application and purchase and get approved, Ethos takes the information, their address, their first name, their last name, their date of birth, their age, and their phone number, and their email, and they put it onto the ILC. For us as Family First Life Ethos partnered agents, we can actually call up those leads and we can help them. And I think that they would love it if we only sold them Ethos products. But that's that's definitely not in any obligation. That's not regulated. So that's the Ethos lead in a nutshell, how that's generated.
Okay. So out of the ethos lead, there's different uh what do I want to say? There's different levels of types of leads that you can buy. You can buy fresh leads, you can buy leads that are 31 days to I believe 90 days, right? And then 91 to 180 days, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And there's difference in prices. I believe it might have been bumped up, or it always was, $18 for the fresh Ethos leads that are 0 to 31 days old. And then after that, so 31 to 90 days old, they're $8. I have only run the $8 leads, and they're about six
Okay.
dollars when there's a discount. I mean, we've
And they're
even had
running
a
a deal.
40% discount, so which brings that down to five some. So we've had, they almost always have discounts, which is another thing that's really great because you get a a bunch more leads, and they're generating them constantly. And the ILC has more than you could ever worry about there being a scarcity. And for some reason,
Yeah.
not everybody's running them. There's right now it seems like the IUL leads and the veteran leads are sort of the darling leads, but don't sleep on the Ethos leads.
Now, when they're ethos leads, are they a type of client that are looking for final expense, for term, for an IUL? What have you seen most in those, Josh?
Yeah, so that's a really important question because these are not your niched leads. They're not your final expense. They're not your mortgage protection, and they're not your index universal life. These are life insurance clients. So it's way more general. It's typically an income replacement situation. I would say that the vast majority of these clients are term candidates. It's not to say that you can't pitch an IUL, but a lot of the time, these people are the people that have an inexpensive term product, and they're just looking to increase their coverage for the same premium, um, or add on to it. They're people typically in their 30s, 40s, 50s. I'd say the average age is about 49, and they're higher income people. And most of what I pitch is $1 million of 20-year term. And so we're looking at products that offer the low rates, which are deeper underwriting. You don't necessarily want to do, paramed, blood, urine, like the Term Life Answers, but the Transamerica Trendsetter LB, and the NLG LSW term, Instabrain, maybe even the American Amicable term made simple. These are terms that offer really low cost per unit without fully underwritten processes.
So these are clients, just to summarize here, these are clients on average age between 20 to 50, right? And they have a pretty good income. They may be married, may not be married, right? And
Yeah,
they're looking for life insurance, whether it be just adding on or putting a policy in place.
right.
Okay. And so you can literally, if they don't qualify for a term, you can sell them a final expense. They may qualify for a term, and then maybe you can add on a tax-free retirement on top of that and sell them an IUL, right?
Correct. Yep. Or
It
an guaranteed advantage accidental through Mutual of Omaha. So
or
is it?
guaranteed.
Yeah.
So there's a plethora of products that you can work with. Would you say that this type of a lead is a good lead for a new person just getting into the business to start on?
Yeah, I do, because um, y- the the fact is that they're low cost and they're high intent, and so that's going to be good for anybody. Even if it's a more complex thing, reach up to your upline. You got somebody that has $2 million of coverage and it's actually pretty cheap. Reach up to your upline? Is there anything that we could sell them that's going to be better? And maybe they'll be like, no, it's not going to be lower cost, but we can give them the same coverage with living benefits, and then they'll let you know. So no, I don't. Yes, I do. I do absolutely think that this would be a good lead for new agents.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's jump into some role play if you don't mind, Josh. I want to kind of
Yes,
get
sir.
an idea of how you do it and kind of give the folks on here an idea of the master here on how he sells Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads.
Yep.
So, do you set an appointment first, or do you just jump into like a one call close and go to an appointment if they're not available?
My approach is to um let them know that I'm doing a large amount of work for them, and so I like to set appointments. And
Okay.
I use my CRM to send them the text reminders. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm a client and you call me and you are going to set an appointment with me and I'm an Ethos Abandoned Cart lead, what would you say?
I'd say, hey, Sean, is this Sean?
Yeah,
Hey, Sean.
yeah.
Hey, this
Who's
is
this?
Joshua. Yeah, this is Joshua Holm. I think they told you I'd be giving you a call. I got a notification yesterday that your application with the Ethos platform had expired. Was there a technical issue, or
Um, I can't. I'm not sure what you're talking
let,
about.
let me back up. All right. So, a little while ago, you put in a life insurance application on the Ethos platform. It's like a green
Oh yeah, yeah.
website. Yeah, if you went to your email and you actually typed in the word ethos in the search bar, you would see emails from when you did that. And so at this point, what they do is it went into an expiration. So that either means there was a technical issue, or or you didn't get approved at the high rating table. So at this point, that's when they just put you in touch with a human that has a little bit more expanded of a portfolio. And then what I do is I'm just going to take a look at all your options and figure out which companies are going to consider you the healthiest, and out of those, which have the lowest cost per unit. So talk to me. What's going on with your life insurance?
Well, I don't have any life insurance right now. My wife does, but I don't.
Okay. Have you never had life insurance?
Well, I have through work, but I got a new job, and I was thinking about getting the work policy again, but I decided I'd rather wait and just kind of look around. And then I seen the site pop up, so I went in there to
Yeah.
look at it.
Well, as far as work insurance, I always think that you should take work insurance if it's low cost or, if they're paying for some of it. It's always good to have. And it's, fairly decent. But the problem with it is it's like a company car. It doesn't go with you if you leave. So most people usually get something that they own privately. Is that what you were thinking?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. So, and then what kind of is the biggest concern when it comes to life insurance? Like you have kids, little kids, or a mortgage, or
Well, I do have a mortgage. Um, I don't know what would happen if I couldn't go to work one day or if I passed away. And because my wife, she can't afford the mortgage, and I don't want my son to have to move to another neighborhood if something happens to me. So that's why I was looking around.
right? Okay, so you would think that at this point, like if you did pass away, that your wife would need to sell the house and then kind of downsize, scale down a little bit in order to make things comfortable.
Um, Probably. I mean, I don't know. I
Okay,
haven't really thought about that.
gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean that's what we're doing here. So, how much do you own the house?
About 400,000.
Okay. And um, so yeah, I mean, so that would be the most important, the bare minimum. The fact is, you work for decades trying to keep the roof above your family's head, but if you pass away, then the mission's failed. But I mean, if we get a good life insurance policy, and hopefully we can, then the mission's actually accomplished if you pass away. So here's what I do is I've been a broker for a while. I work with about 50 different life insurance companies. Ethos is just one of them. And then what I do is I'll ask you a few questions here, and we'll set up another time to talk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look through all of my companies. I have pretty advanced software where I can kind of run the quotes for all of the companies. What I'll do is I'll filter for all of your health, your medical, your height and weight, your age. I'm going to see which insurance companies are going to consider you the healthiest. And then I'll speak to a few underwriters and actually see if I can kind of get through the risk assessment, get you pre-approved. And then once I've figured out what rating table across the companies we're going to be able to achieve, whether that's standard or select or preferred plus, then I'm going to see between all of those companies which one's going to offer you the lowest cost per unit. And that's so that we can get you the most coverage for the least amount of premium. As long as it's a reputable company. Do you have any medical background? Have you ever had cancer, heart attack, stroke? Is there, if an insurance company looks into you, what do you think they'll find?
Um, no, I don't have anything severe or anything like that. I do have asthma.
Look, okay. And is that they just have you like on albuterol as needed, or are you taking like the?
Yeah, as needed.
Okay, gotcha. When do you think you filled that last?
Last month. It's full.
Last month? Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
fill that
full.
on a monthly
So
basis?
I do. Well, it depends on the season. In the fall, it's really bad because of
Okay, so
the
there's
pollen and leaves.
okay. So certain seasons you're not really using it, and it's important
Correct.
during
It's
other
as needed.
seasons. So
Hmm.
okay, yeah. And then and um, what's your height and weight?
5'9", 400 pounds. Just
Five
kidding.
nine four.
I'll give you
Okay,
a better number. 5'9", 205.
5'9", 205. Okay, that's a good BMI. And do you have are you on any other prescriptions other than the albuterol?
Um, just allergy medication.
Okay.
I take that as needed too.
Is that like a over the counter or has that been prescribed?
It's prescription.
Okay. Can I get the name of that one?
Flonase.
Flonase. Okay, gotcha. And then, well, yeah, I think that one's actually, yeah, that one's a pretty low priority prescription, so I'm not too worried about that. Any big medical history, like anything that happened in the past that you're not seeing a doctor for anymore, maybe like hospitalization or a big surgery?
I had my neck fused back in 2012.
Okay. And any complications with that or any ongoing treatments, rehabs?
Nope. I had
Okay.
I also had a rotator cuff surgery 2 years ago.
Dang, you've been through everything. Are you still in
Not
pain
yet.
from
I'm working on it.
it? We're working on it. Yeah, yeah, it sounds like you've been through a lot. You still have regular pain
A little bit, but
a little bit.
I'm not prescribed anything for it. I'll just take an ibuprofen if I ever have some pain, stuff like that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So, and then smoker, non-smoker.
No, I don't smoke.
Okay. And are we looking at something just for you, Sean, or are we looking at something for a family member as well?
Well, how much is it?
Well, I
It
mean, of
depends on the
course,
cost.
yeah, yep. I mean, that's why I'm going to go through this questionnaire with you, and I'm going to get back with you, and we'll see what all the best options are. Do you, but I mean, are you saying that if you did, I mean, if it did make sense, you would probably get something for your wife too? Well, you said that she did have a policy. Let me ask you, what
Yeah,
carriers
she
that,
does.
and then I would go through that. I don't want to go through all of that with you, but um, um,
Yeah,
I
she
would
has a work
typically ask.
policy.
Oh, a work policy. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, hey, why don't, I mean, it probably makes sense for me to, kill two birds with one stone. It really doesn't take extra of my time if I'm kind of running them both at the same time because I can talk to the underwriters and ask questions for both. Does she have any medical background? And we can skip this part, Sean, but, because it's
Yeah,
the same
she's a
thing over again.
doctor.
She's a doctor. Okay.
Yeah, she does have medical background.
All right, so this is pretty much all that I need at this point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, in between appointments, work on all of these quotes, and then I'm going to get on the phone in the morning with the underwriters of the companies that I think you're probably going to get approved for. And what's a good time for me to get back with you tomorrow?
Um, I'm not available tomorrow. What about next week?
Next week? Yeah, let's see, what do you have going on?
Well, I just have a pretty full schedule this week.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I mean, you're in my time zone, and You, I'm in the office from about 8 a.m., typically between till about 6 to 8 p.m. Is there a good time tomorrow, maybe in the evening, that would work both for you and your wife?
Um, yeah, probably in the evening.
Probably in the evening. Here, what time do you guys think that you're going to be together tomorrow?
Probably not till late because
Till
I get
late?
home pretty late, and then she gets home usually about 5 or 6, depending on the day.
5 or
But
6?
I get
Okay.
home later.
You get home later, what time?
Sometimes about let's see, tomorrow is Thursday, so it'd probably be about 8:30. But
8:30?
I know that's after your time.
Yeah,
So I don't want to wake you up.
yeah, typically. I actually have an appointment at 8:30 tomorrow. I could probably squeeze you in. It's going to be pretty quick. I could give you a call at 9. Here's what I'll do though. What's your wife's name?
Lorena?
Lorena. Okay. Let me grab her phone number. So I'll put you guys in the schedule, and then I'll give her a call or send her a text and let her know about it as well. That way, we're kind of all on the same page. And then I'm
Okay.
really just going to be getting back with you if I find something that's considerable. So if I really can't find anything that's going to be a considerable option for you guys, I'm just going to send you a text and say we're going to have to postpone until I do find you something. But as far as what everything I'm seeing here, I think there's going to be a lot of good options that you qualify for. So,
Okay.
so let's just tentatively set it for 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'm gonna send the text over to her as well, and then yeah, we'll shoot for 9, and I'll share my screen with you, and we'll just kind of go through and see if something makes sense for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right. Perfect. Well, I've got to jump off the phone right now. Got an appointment in like 1 minute, so I'm gonna put this in my schedule. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
That is awesome, Josh. That's a phenomenal approach to selling those. Once this is on YouTube, guys, you guys got to watch this over again. Josh did it like perfect. I mean, at the very first part of the call, you confused them, confused me. I was even
Yeah.
confused and I knew what you were doing. And when you confuse people on the phone, what do? They stay on the phone. They don't hang up,
Yep.
right? And you started talking about, how I filled out an application and I was like, "What? What are you talking
Yeah.
about?"
I make
Oh,
things
yeah, yeah. Let me
nebulous in the
back up.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you started to get the pain points out of me, So your wife would probably have to sell the house and move if something happened to you. And I mean, it was nonchalant. You had a whole conversation the whole time. I knew what you were doing as another life insurance agent, but as a client, it's just a normal conversation.
Yeah.
I love it. That was awesome. And then you just kind of led down the path. I was trying to find a good point to say, no, how long is this going to take? But it was like so nonchalant and just a great casual conversation that I kind of felt bad for not for saying jumping in there and saying, how long is this going to take? Because I didn't feel like I was being pushed at all. I felt like it was just a normal conversation, and that's the way it should be, right? But in your mind, you're just leading them down a path to help understand their needs so that you can help them the best. They can voice their pain points, the reasons why they need it, and then you're leading them down a further path to help them understand that, look, it's important that we do this now. You don't really have anything. Why? Because otherwise, if I die or if I get hurt, sick, or injured and I can't pay the mortgage, then my son's going to have to move, right? And on top of that, you built a ton of credibility. Look, I got 50 carriers. I'm going to look around for you. I'm going to shop around for you. You just killed the competition right there. Nobody else. I'm not going to want to go to any other guy. Josh now is my guy. Why? Because he's easy to talk to. Number one, I just had a normal conversation with him, guy to guy. Number three, he's got 50 carriers and he's going to go to work for me. And I'm not paying him anything for it. He's doing it for free from my point of view, right? And so he's going to go and check all the carriers, find the best policy for me, and have my budget in mind. You just killed all the competition right there, man.
That's honestly,
Awesome.
that's what you have in your back pocket. If you hear me say anything, look right at me. The fact that your biggest superpower is the fact that you actually have a lot to offer. You have a huge amount to offer.
Yeah.
You're a broker, and they're not. And the average broker that they're going to speak to is going to do the very bare minimum, and they're going to talk like a customer service person. And so if you can just embody the broker in yourself and know that you actually do a really amazing service for them. You're not just some quoting tool. You're a quantum life insurance placing machine, and and you have that sort of resolve that you actually give a damn. And that's your biggest superpower. It's not the words that you say, it's just the fact that you actually carry your life insurance license. And if you give a damn, then you get a second license. That's your passport through life to speak as bold and to speak as confidently as you want. That's your passport in life, is to just care enough. And you can speak confidently.
A quantum life insurance placing machine. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Josh, thanks for coming on. I know you're bringing on new people. If you feel like you want to work with Josh, how does somebody get a hold of you, Josh?
You can email me, or you can send me a text. My email is joshua@holminsurance.com, HOLM, and my phone number is 971-719-0876.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, thanks for coming on. I thought you brought a ton of value. And if you guys want to get some Ethos Abandoned Cart Leads, rewatch this video over and over and over again. You start to do it like this guy, you're going to help a lot of families and protect a lot of families. He is a master at it. So again, thanks guys for coming on, and you guys have a blessed day. You're welcome.
Thank you.